Good morning. So anyway, I have a story about a friend. Okay. Um, this friend has a boyfriend. She's an older woman like me, and she has a boyfriend who's older than her, and they live together, and he is widowed, just like my boyfriend is widowed. And for many years, the daughter was like the matriarch of the family. And she was like the person that if there were any kind of emergency or situation, she would be the one to deal with things on behalf of her father. And, she's a professional, and she's got her own family, her own husband, her own children, her own property. So it is, I wouldn't say a burden, but it's an extra responsibility. And so the daughter was thrilled when her father, after being widowed for at least 20 years, found a girlfriend who was reliable, had a good reputation. I'm sure that they checked her out, you know, which I don't blame people these days for doing that. And the daughter confided to the girlfriend that she was just so tired, and she wanted the girlfriend, because she was taking care of things, to be in his will, and because she was responsible. And the daughter, was well-to-do. She didn't need her father's whatever. And the daughter also asked the girlfriend if she wouldn't mind having access to her father's utilities and banking and phone, online stuff, just in case, there was ever, because she is younger, that, if anything happened, that she could at least make sure that bills were getting paid, or that, there was just someone to look in on things. I personally, I have my sister designated to be that, but, she's available for that. And, but anyway, my friend's boyfriend, he liked that because he didn't want his daughter overwhelmed. So the girlfriend of, which is my friend of this older man, has access to all of his stuff. He's got nothing to hide, and he trusts her implicitly. So there was a situation a while back. Online, sometimes you get like these little predatory people, narcissistic, predatory, probably with like a major personality disorder, some addictions, whatever. And they cause problems. And, online gossip is exactly that, online gossip. If a person is not in your life, they're not in your bank account, they're not in your will, they're not in your living room, they're not coming on a cruise with you, they're really insignificant. But anyway, back to my friend. So, at the time that she thought things were a little sketchy, she told her boyfriend that he had to make a choice. And he made a choice. He said, no, you're right. I've let like these little games online go a little too far. And you're right. It's not right. So she took his word for it. But being nobody's fool, since she had access to many things, she did access his phone records, his bank account, and she even went through his phone because she's nobody's fool. And so she knew that the narcissistic, predatory, insecure female was lying. And she kind of laughed about it all. And that was that. So, the moral of the story is, if you're a predatory, narcissistic woman that needs narcissistic supply and you go around lying about people, you're really not good at doing what you're doing because you haven't taken into account what my friend just did with her boyfriend. And another thing that comes to mind is, why do some of these people do this? In the case of women that do this, that need so much attention and do all this crazy stuff, it's like they have something. It's parallel to the Oedipus complex. It's called the Electra complex. Something happened to them, unfortunately, when they were very young and they were in a certain stage of development where they were in love with the opposite sex parent, which is a normal part of a very young child's development. And then they kind of like go through it and they go to the next stage. But if something traumatic happens to them when they're at that stage, their id or their ego or their superego gets stuck. A part of them gets stuck in that developmental stage, and they constantly have daddy issues. They are jealous of their mother, and they repeat a pattern their entire life of trying to steal daddy away from mommy because mommy is the competition. And I think that it's almost too heinous for anyone, even like a very narcissistic or borderline or whatever you want to label you want to put on it. It's too much for them to be able to admit to themselves. So like they transfer it on to other people. But the thing is it gets sad, and I think the only people that really would play along with it, you know that old saying, water seeks its own level, the only people that really would buy into it or play along with it are people that are equally as damaged as that person. Now, if someone's trying to do this around a person who's maybe a little more emotionally healthy, like my friend, they would probably initially ignore it, and, sometimes they might call certain things out or whatever, but they're certainly not going to let it affect their lives. And also, a woman's identity and even her happiness is not contingent on having a man in their life. You can have friends, you could have family, you could have your pets. And chances are, if you're the type of person that you functioned well or well enough in a long-term relationship, should anything happen to that partner, you will probably with not too much difficulty, attract another partner into your life. So personally for me, my happiness is not based on the relationship I have, although I cherish it. If something ever were to happen to him, either a parting of the ways or something more final, I wouldn't go out and look for another partner, but it might come my way, just through everyday life, just towards, living everyday life and social interactions and things like that. They say like attracts alike, and if you're a social person, and I'm certainly not perfect, but I think I am authentic enough to attract other authentic people into my life. So, I wouldn't have to worry about a lack of a partner if something happened to the current one. My happiness is not based on him being around, although I enjoy him, just like my friend enjoys her boyfriend. And other people enjoy their spouse or their boyfriend or whatever the relationship is. It's enjoyable. And some person trying to throw shade, they need to get a hobby or get a life or get a job or get a relationship of their own, because obviously they're lacking in something. And but I can't change other people. I can only change myself. So, to tell you the truth, I do wish just about everyone well. But if you're a dysfunctional person, it's not my job to heal you. That's God's job, or the higher power, or whatever. It's not my job to judge you because I am not God. However, if you cross a line with me, just like my friend had a line crossed, you'll act accordingly. So, nothing earth-shattering about what I've said. But I think the Electra complex is really interesting. If anyone's listening, go ahead and Google it, because I'm sure I didn't explain it as well as, the literature you would find online. But it's very interesting. When you learn a little bit, you start to recognize certain behaviors. So anyway, everyone, have a great day and watch out for predators, narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths, blah, blah, blah. Bye.